Many point to the election of Neil Potter as Montgomery County executive in 1990 as ushering in the idea that Montgomery County, whether fair or not, is not as business friendly as the neighboring jurisdictions in Virginia. Reputations once earned are very hard to change, as any parent would have told you growing up. And with us today is Eric Stewart, a spokesperson for the Montgomery County Business Owners Roundtable, which is supporting the election of political leaders dedicated to economic growth in Montgomery County. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. Thank you, Casey.
The formation of any new political organization is kind of a unique thing with two entrenched political parties. Eric, tell us about your organization and why it was necessary for this ad hoc committee to be formed.
Well, I must say that this was somewhat organically grown. It came as a result of conversations by Democrats, Independents, Republicans, all concerned about three core issues: the safety in our county, the schools and the schooling system, as well as the quality of the business environment here. And all three of these have been not only lagging, but suffering and falling short of a measure, I think, that all three parties can agree need to see improvement in. And so, because the parties tend to drive a lot of other issues besides those three core issues, we came together to say, hey, this is what's most important. And we want candidates from either party that will support good safety, good schools, and good business. So that's why I've got my own personal reasons for why I got involved. But in general, I think it's time for us to make the issues more important than the party.
So, and what's been the reaction to your organization's efforts?
Well, I think that we're still pretty new. So, Casey, we do not get a lot of reaction other than very positive reaction, whether I'm talking to a Democrat, an Independent, or Republican, parent, business leader, or otherwise. There's an incredible acknowledgement that that's a great idea, that we need to have this middle ground where we're working together. We're creating an environment that I think existed politically years and years ago in this county that has drifted, like our country, towards a very partisan divide. And the why behind that, that's not really my focus. We want to be focused on what's positive, what's encouraging. And I like the definition of that word, encouragement, which is a French word. It means to put the heart into. We want to put the heart back into Montgomery County. And the best way for a business owners roundtable is to focus on those three core issues. And safety is a personal concern to me. I have a son who's a police officer. I've got a car that was stolen out from in front of my place a year and a half ago. I've seen a lot of degradation in my confidence personally. And I think we also have seen the numbers for safety in Montgomery County shift negatively. And this is a confidence and safety issue, right? I mean, we want to have confidence we're going to be safe at night walking around downtown Rockville or wherever it might be. And then the school side, it seems like the issues for schooling have revolved around very much preferences as opposed to the core important issues, which is you need to build equity into your own mind. That's your responsibility as a student, and it's the responsibility of the schooling system to teach and build that equity and hold children accountable, because at the end of the day, making people feel good at the end, when you hit 18 and you're on your own, it's not about feeling good. It's about getting a good job. It's about being able to make money for you, your future family, if you choose to have one. And I think that's where it feeds right into the business environment. So our business environment is also lackluster now. We've seen most business environments that are positive, such as other places in Virginia, that have drawn a lot of our businesses across the bridge, have pulled those businesses by virtue of the tax environment. But I think it's more going back to that word encouragement. Our business environment is not encouraging businesses by putting the heart into the businesses, creating platforms online, making it simple for folks who only speak Spanish, who only speak Vietnamese or Chinese, or even our English-speaking Americans find it difficult and daunting and contradictory so consistently to make permit applications and stay on top of all those rules. It feels like you're constantly filing taxes all the time as a business owner, rather than focusing on what's going to make money and ultimately going to pay those taxes. So,
well, I want to cover some of your endorsements, but
sure.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that some of three people who you endorsed in Board of Education elections during the primary actually disavowed your group's support. And there are those that say, whether it's fair or not, that your group is a cover for the moribund Montgomery County Republican Party.
Well, I think we can only exist in either fear or faith at any given point in time, right? We have to choose whether we're going to be in fear or we're going to be in faith for change. This is not about a Republican-driven issue. This is an issue-driven political action committee, and therefore it's not a front to any political organization at all. So I would just say that's not a correct interpretation. I think more the issue is a fear of that being an interpretation and therefore coloring people's judgment. But again, you can't control what other people are going to do. You can only control what you choose to do. And we as a county need to work together and see change in this area. And that's Democrats, Independents, and Republicans joining together.
Well, just this week, I guess, earlier this week, you released a slate of candidates that is being endorsed for the upcoming general election. So why don't we go through each of those candidates and tell why they would be a good fit for Montgomery County. We'll start with the executive race.
Okay, so just to point this out to our audience, we created a slate of Democrat and a slate of Republican candidates that we endorsed for the primaries, okay? And we interviewed, we went through multiple interview cycles with different candidates to identify those who would be for the issues that we're supporting. And so we endorsed David Blair, okay? We felt like David was a good candidate for business here in Montgomery County on the Democratic primary side. Unfortunately, David didn't win his primary race, and Mark Elrich is going to be competing with Reardon Sullivan, okay? So Reardon, by the way, is a great guy. He's a local man. He graduated from Wooten High School, my alma mater, and he's an engineer by trade. He's run an engineering business here in Montgomery County for many, many years. He understands the importance of business, and we really need a guy like that in office who's actually run a business and knows what it takes to survive and thrive in Montgomery County in somewhat difficult circumstances.
So I mean, given the results of the Democratic primary, the majority of Democrats didn't even vote for Mark Elrich to be county executive. So is there a realistic opportunity for Reardon to make inroads and actually overcome what's seen as a huge registration disadvantage?
Well, it's true that that Mark didn't actually get the majority. He just won, I think, because of a split in opportunity within the Democratic Party. And he just, it's unfortunate that David didn't get into that position. I would say to those who are watching who are Democrats to say, look at the job performance and look at the guy who's going to get the job done and bring business back to Montgomery County. Don't let it be a party-driven issue. Same as I would say if David was running, I would say focus on David's capability as a business leader. Again, we're not about one party or the other, which is why, skipping over and talking about Dan Kuda and Marilyn Balcom, who are both running for a seat in the county council. These are two very well-qualified individuals running against each other, and we're endorsing both of them. Marilyn is a Democrat and Dan is a Republican. We're endorsing both of them because we think that they're both good candidates as county council. And Marilyn, sadly, was the only Democrat that survived our slate of Democratic endorsed candidates in the primaries.
And so Marilyn is running in District 2, and I thought Dan was running in District 5. Are they running against each other?
They are. They're both in District 2.
Okay, my mistake.
Of course.
And so that's kind of a unique situation. I know Marilyn very well. I don't know Dan. Marilyn and I were in Leadership Montgomery, the greatest class of 2000, many years ago. That's an inside joke for all LMers. We all were in the greatest class. So I'm, of course, wishing Marilyn well. I don't know, as I said, I don't know Dan. Talk about your candidate for District 7.
So for District 7, Harold Maldonado. And if we think about where District 7 is, that is in the north and the eastern quadrant of the county, going all the way up towards Damascus. Harold is a parent, he's an economist, and he's specialized in economic development. So here's a guy, you look at Brookville, you look at Olney, you look at that entire quadrant and the development that's gone up there, and the available space, even the development of business with the beer farms and the other things that are in that district. We need a guy who's going to lead that district with excellence. And Harold he's not only a really, really nice guy. I've met him, we interviewed him, and that's a part of what we did is we took the time to talk to different candidates and get a sense of what their vision was. I think Harold would be great for District 7.
And you have one more district council race that you're supporting. That's District 6. And both 6 and 7 are fairly newly created, carved up districts. So talk about District 6 now.
So Viet Don is a Vietnamese. He's first generation and an attorney and a parent as well. And I've met Viet and his wife, and we went through that interview process with them. This is now like 6 months ago when Viet and I met, and we discussed how he could support and serve the interests of District 6 in Montgomery County. And here again, committed, passionate, understands. He's kind of the underdog in the sense that he's the guy who had to scrap and fight his way into the position that he's in, and he's done a great job of it. We think he's going to bring tremendous change into District 6 if he's elected. We really support his efforts.
So the last candidate you've endorsed is for the school board. And just this week, there have been some rather alarming and shocking news articles coming out of the Washington Post about things that Montgomery County and Marylanders feel about education. So talk about Esther Wells, your nominee for the school board.
Well, Esther's, again, first generation, came through the Montgomery County school system. She's a tremendous woman, vivacious, encouraging. And again, that's something else we look for. We want somebody who's got conviction, but also has kindness. And we think that she brings that measure of focus as a parent herself to bring strength into the schooling system. Sadly, the issues in Montgomery County with schooling have been focused on really preferences rather than on the great education that made Montgomery County strong. We're spending more in Montgomery County on our students and getting less. We need a fresh work through at the school board level. We hope and wish Cheryl great success.
Well, you know, there was an old party called the Throw the Bum Out Party. And even though that your group is trying to sound very positive about candidates, there's definitely a feeling that we need a new turnover in our legislative leaders going forward. Eric, I want to thank you for coming in today and presenting and talking about your organization. And we'll see what happens in around 3 weeks when the general election happens.
Thank you very much, Casey. Our website is mcbroundtable.com if you'd like to see all of our candidates that we're endorsing.
Thanks. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you too.
When we come back from this short break, mail-in ballots are being sent to all Montgomery County registered voters. And how does this impact the election results? Stay tuned.